Hi everyone, my name's Chandler, and for my topic expansion, I wanted to go over how to ask for a promotion or a raise. I feel like this is a super important topic because it's really scary and it's really nerve-wracking to put yourself out there and ask for more. So I wanted to start with just a super simple quote. It's if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I just feel like that really reiterates how important it is to just ask and see what happens. So there was a Glassdoor survey conducted in the US, and it said that 69% of employees say they wish they had a better understanding of fair market compensation for positions within their local job market. And the really cool thing about having information at your fingertips today is that you can know um, the the fair market compensation. There's sites like Indeed, PayScale, and Salary. And on Glassdoor, they even have like a separate tab that you can click on, and it's called Know Your Worth. So you can specifically go into your job field and know what other people are being paid. And I think that's super important. And it's kind of like there's no excuse as to whether or not you know if you're being paid correctly or not. And then there was also a study conducted by George Mason University, and it found that being underpaid and also failing to negotiate that could cost you $600,000 throughout your career, which is a ton of money. It just goes to show how much you could be losing if you don't just ask. And like I said earlier, the worst thing they could say is no, and then from there you know that's not right, and you go find somewhere that's going to pay you correctly. But that's worst case scenario. So there are some signs that you are being underpaid. Um, Colleagues are paid more than you. As I mentioned earlier, you're able to see this information online and understand whether or not you're being paid correctly. The level of responsibility has increased, but your salary hasn't. I feel like so many people have gone through this. I feel like it's so common. You feel like you're doing the job of five people, but you're only one person, and you can't be everywhere at once, but your boss wants you to. And that's not fair. And then performance review is overdue. I feel like this is also super common. It's really good when employers sit down with you for quarterlies or even monthlies and go over how you're performing, what you can do better, critiques. And if that's not happening, then there's definitely something wrong with the pay. They're maybe too scared to talk about it because they're tight for money. And then fourth, the company has a high turnover rate. Kind of same thing. It's they're the company that isn't caring for their employees. They're not having the performance reviews, strapped for money, things like that. And those are definitely things that would cause people to quit. So there is a little checklist that I put together with the help of the NBC article and the Business Insider article. So once you realize that you are underpaid, it's really important to schedule a meeting as soon as possible. And you really want to prepare a data heavy strategy. And within that, you want to really be specific and use examples, really amplify your strengths, and then collect a list of unique skills that you have. Think about offering to take on more responsibility or launch a project that would help out the business. It's also important to decide on a minimum when you're talking to your boss. So that's really good to think about. And then I think this one's super important. It's picking a time where your boss will be relaxed and uninterrupted. I feel like this is so hard to do. Every boss I've ever had has been crazy busy. They don't have time to sit down and just talk. So really try and find that time where their mind isn't gonna be everywhere and they can just focus on you. And then here's just a few other really important tips. As Professor Fallon always says, it's good to dress the part, because when we look good, we tend to feel good, and that exudes confidence. So, secondly, be confident because your boss isn't going to realize your worth unless you truly believe it. And then when you're speaking about your examples and stories, try and stay as organized as possible so that your boss can easily follow along. I know I said earlier, usually bosses and managers are just all over the place and trying to be everywhere at once. So it's really good to have an outline that they can easily follow. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, you really have to act quick when you realize you've been underpaid. Asking for this promotion and making this meeting is so scary, but um, you have to anticipate a setback. And it's just good to have the meeting, get everything on the table. If something's not decided right after the meeting, they'll be able to think about it and get back to you in a timely manner. And I just wanted to end with it's really important to know your worth. Um, it sucks being unhappy and underpaid and just being happy to be employed. If you're truly working hard and doing your job correctly, bringing in revenue, making money for a company, I think it's super important that you are equally as valued and as paid. So thank you for watching and yeah, thanks.